from Seattle, from the West. There is a special segment coming where I need your help, which is another reason I'm fired up and ready to rant. I'm going to go a little Devin Nash in that one. You'll enjoy it. Hopefully, you'll see echoes of Devin. But whether you do or not, everyone should know, and Houndstooth just brought it up, if you want to ask questions about whether or not you should quit your job, put them into our extension. You can vote on the questions of others. I love it. The last few shows, we've had a ton of questions, and at the end, I've gone into a new channel ritual, the speed round, where I've answered every single question people ask. So I hope I can do that again tonight. I'm fired up to try. And someday you guys will break me. You'll have too many on-topic questions that the mods approve that I try to answer. But you haven't done it yet. So until then, put them in, vote them up. If your questions on quitting your job are long, you may have to add context in chat when I get to your question, which is fine. But put in a summary of what you want to know in the situation, and I will take it from there, and you can always add in chat because I know it can be long. So look, what else do we want to talk about? I'm looking at my notes here. We've covered who, we've covered the disclaimer, we've covered Q&A. All right. So let me give the preamble, a little bit of what I think about this while you start entering questions. I stole from the Clash, should I stay or should I go now? Well, the answer is both sides have merit. If you've listened to this stream for a while, you know I'm always saying just get the hell out in certain circumstances. And I'm going to remind you all what the circumstances are when you should get the hell out. But then we're going to talk about the cases where you should not, where it makes sense to stay, to grit it out, to stay in your job for a little while, for a long time, because there are places. Hey, Kristen, good to have you here. Kristen joined our mod squad as well. So be nice today. We got lots of moderators, and they're all figuring out how to use ban, and so I don't want them to test anything on anyone here. So look, when should you definitely just go? Potentially, very quickly, like just walk out. Flat out abusive treatment. Obviously something physical or sexual. Someone hitting you, violence, danger, risk, being asked to do something unethical. Illegal activities. Just quit. Just get out. Just go. When you have a truly better opportunity. So whether you were searching for it or it came to you, you have just a better opportunity. I have run into people who sometimes better jobs just show up for them. They get a call. I've told everyone this story before, but some of you know I was working in my previous role at Amazon, running the Amazon App Store. It was the biggest team I led. I had a global team of over 800. And I got called to go work at SpaceX. And so I was going to report directly to Elon Musk, be vice president of software for the rockets. And, I went down and talked to him. It turned out it wasn't a fit. Like, he and I quickly agreed I was not what he was looking for. And his definition of what he wanted was not what I wanted to be. So it was mutual. But had that been a fit, I'd have had a better job. As much as I love Amazon, the chance to put your name in the history book by putting people on Mars, I'd have taken a shot at it. So that's a reason to leave a job. And look, you can also simply burn out and need to leave a job just because you need a change. So as everybody's been flooding in here, just a quick reminder, tonight we're talking about, should I leave my effing job? The title doesn't have the effing in it, but we all know that's what we're thinking. When we're upset, we're thinking, oh, this effing job. Sometimes you're burnt out and just need a change. Well, here's the point on that. Never run from something. Run to something. That's really important. Don't run from a situation. Be running towards something, if at all possible. So when I say, should you quit your job, maybe we'll talk about that. But if you're going to quit your job, don't just quit to get the hell out unless your life is in danger or your ethics or something grotesque. Instead, make a planned move. The big thing we're going to talk about tonight is too many people basically feel pain, whatever it is, bad boss, bad coworkers, think they're underpaid, don't like the work, don't like the project, feel the place is unstable, don't like the politics. And their thought is, I have to get the hell out of here. Well, that can be true, but that will drive you to take anything as an alternative. And you'll go from the frying pan to the fire. In fact, you may go from bad to worse. And so the incredibly critical thing is when you reach that point that you're like, I have to go, it's much easier to find a job when you have a job. And so don't quit a job until you have a better one in hand, if at all possible. Now, sometimes you're so burnt out, so fried, you need time off. All right, like I can't advise every situation, but as a general rule, don't quit a job until you've found something better. And take the time, Devin and I always talk about networking, to check out that job and do your research. Network in and ask people there about their boss. Ask them about whatever. But ask them about the environment. Do your research so you're moving somewhere good. Because so many people I hear, well, I took this job and it wasn't what was advertised. We have some people in our Discord who've left jobs recently because they're like, I took this job and it wasn't what they told me. And now they're upset. They're sad. They're mad. They're something because they got screwed, either intentionally or accidentally. Don't let that happen to you. Okay. Now I'm going to talk about the other side, and then we're going to hit the rants and the questions. What this show really is about, though, is when should you stay? When should you not quit your effing job? And here's the thing. I got to be harsh for a minute. All of us suck at stuff. And we hate to admit it. And we hate the fact that part of the reason we're unhappy in the job, or the boss is unhappy with us, or the coworkers, or we're not being successful, is something we need to learn and improve. And we hate it. We hate hearing, oh my God, I have to do better. I need to change. I need to be different. I need to learn something new. It sucks. Why? It's so much easier to blame the other guy, to blame the coworkers, the environment, the technology, the business, the climate, the CEO, anyone but me. Much happier. But it doesn't work. Because if you don't face your own limitations and improve them, they are the one thing that is 100% transportable to your new job. And I've told you I'm going to help you speed run your career here, develop yourself. Well, developing yourself, that's the problem. It's developing you. You can have bad bosses, you should quit. You can have bad jobs, you should quit. But the hardest thing is facing up to what you don't do well. And I've told the story before, so I won't go through the whole details. But for new people who've joined us, I managed to get myself laid off in 2 consecutive jobs around 20 years ago, before I came to Amazon. They were 2.5 years apart, but fundamentally, I love to tell people off. And when I thought I was right, I laid into them. I had a saying I loved to mix metaphors. And I said, oh, people say I'm a loose cannon, but they only say that when I'm pointed at them, as if, oh, because they're guilty, they complain. I'm just blasting away. You know, another quote I like is, people say, oh, I'm just brutally honest. Well, I think it was one of the popes. I've heard it attributed to John Paul II, who said, hey, or John Paul II, I guess they would describe that, whatever. When you hear someone who says they're brutally honest, they're probably more in it for the brutality than the honesty, and I was. I reveled in holding people accountable and pointing out their mistakes. Well, duh, My coworkers didn't love that. So when those companies got in trouble and needed to downsize, guess who they figured they could live without? Me. Now, was I ever fired? No. But make no mistake, when a company is downsizing, they're deciding who's essential and who's not. And I put myself on the expendable list. Well, it took me 2 rounds of this to learn. I'm trying to help you learn without that. So I hope everybody in chat can learn. Yeah, so I get called the assassin. I assassinated myself in that case. Duke of Thought, I don't know the origin of the quote for sure. It might have been somebody else. Oh, by the way, I advertised this before we all started. This is the cocktail for tonight, the drink of the night. And this is a spicy mango cocktail. So, ingredients: mango juice, crushed jalapeno, agave nectar, vodka, lime juice, orange bitters, and of course, the new signature, the umbrella. And it's good. And the umbrella, if you can see it, is right through the jalapeno. And as this goes away, the stream is going to get spicier. We're just getting wound up because I have a surprise segment where chat is going to advise me because I need your help. This is where you can help me speed run my life. Captain, by the way, I am having a great evening. 7th Fleet, it is awesome to have you here. And all of you who are joining in chat, look, let's take a minute, do the first chat participation before I rant some more. I've told the story. I guess I will finish the rant. I was the problem. And I didn't know it. I had to get myself canned twice before I was sitting home unemployed with a new baby and trying to figure out, oh shit, we went from 2 income, no kids. My wife left her job so that she could be home with our adopted daughter. And then I got myself let go. I sitting home thinking about, we went from 2 income, no kids to no income, 1 kid. This is not a great situation. That I started to really reflect, like, great question. Here's an honest, simple, great question. What part did I play in this situation? What could I have done better? Maybe you're not 100% responsible. Maybe you're only 5% responsible. But what could you have done better or differently to make the situation better? We talk about the book Extreme Ownership here. What could you have owned? What can you own? I needed to own my shit. My wife has a shirt now that says, own your shit. She wears it for our kids as a recommendation. The point is, I wasn't owning it. I needed to own it and grow up. All right. So here's audience participation. Yoyo, Chanting, T Weirdo, good to see you here. Thank you all for joining. This is so much fun, actually. The first question I'd love chat to answer is, what's the most helpful feedback you've ever gotten from any manager, from anyone in a work setting? It can be coaches, it doesn't have to be like business work, but what's the most helpful feedback? Put it in chat. Let's talk about it. And I will share. At Amazon, I got some really helpful feedback. It had to do with how to communicate, always giving a recommendation and looking like I had a plan if I did, rather than just serving a problem up to the leader above me. Give them a plan, give them a clue. But I would love it anywhere in your life, chat. What's the best advice you've gotten from someone, the best feedback about your performance? It can be in school. I know some of you watching are students. Share it. All right, Rockstar. I'm going to pull it up over here, so I'm looking at the camera. Sweet. There we go. It's really interesting. I don't have dark mode on this browser, so when I hide it, the lighting on me actually changes. I have really big monitors here. Well, medium big, and they actually backlight me or front light me. Nobody's asked a question, by the way, so first person to put in, is that true? Let me see if that's true. Might be I need to refresh. Nope, there's questions. Awesome. Nobody's voted on a question yet, though, so if you go vote on the questions, you get to pick what I'll talk about. Anyway, let's see. Good advice. Either between owning my mistakes or dumbing yourself down to the user's perspective. That my behavior appeared to the manager was gunning for their job, too inquisitive. Yup. Build confidence. That's a good point. Confidence goes a long way. Take more risk when you're young. Ethernight, was that me? Because certainly I don't claim that I told you that, but I do tell people that. When you're young is the time to take risk. And by the way, that's a good point to it's a good time for me to bring up that my next stream with Devin Nash will be next Thursday at 4 p.m. We're going to do an unusual stream for either of us. We're going to have a special guest, and we're going to talk personal finance. And we're going to have, I won't say who it is, we're going to have a finance professor on stream with us as a guest. So someone who taught finance at a prestigious institution for several years. So that will be a big opportunity. We'll keep dropping little details, dribbling them out like the teases we are for the next week or so. But that's going to be our stream next Thursday. And we're going to have that special guest on. So, all right. And your uncle's a smart man, Ethernight. He was completely right. What else we have here? Best I got was sticking up for my team. Instead of pointing fingers, absolutely. Own it. Don't point fingers. Focus on their feelings, not yours. Dome Kang, that's good advice. Start from basics, the beginning, and trace up to the point where you went wrong. That way you know how you got into this mess. Some guy, that is very good advice. The people around you aren't tools. They are helpers. Top Dolphin, I don't know if I've seen you here before, but that is welcome. That is really good advice. Thank you for sharing it. Ya boy TV, I tend to take on too many things. Even if individually they are achievable, I will take them all on and get stretched too thin. The advice was to prioritize. Yes, I have done whole shows on prioritization. Incredibly powerful. The best advice I got at my job was, as long as you don't make a major mistake, my supervisor would always back up my decision. For context, I work in event security. That's awesome. I think that advice is good generally. Good bosses back up decisions. My general rule is I don't have problems with my team making mistakes or having issues. I only have problems if they repeat mistakes or cover them up. So, all right, cool. That is a good set of answers. Feel free to throw any more in. Pink Dragon's chiming in. Spend time with trusted team members to get their buy-in. This is her constant advice based on leading teams in a factory setting. And I've observed Pink Dragons at work. Her team would run through walls for her, honestly, in a way mine would not, which saddens me. She is a better leader in those contexts than I am, and I try to learn from that. So that's solid advice. What about having a need to always over-deliver? How do I fix this? Confused Cougar, throw that in questions, and we'll get to it. We're going to go to questions soon. Choose your battles. Not everything is worth a debate. That's good advice. Top Dolphin, welcome from Devin's stream then. Very much appreciate you. Oh, this is interesting. To phobia, that I'm too nice to my employees. Yeah, you have to have some, not distance, I don't know what the right word is. You have to have a distinction. A distinction that, yes, you're friendly, but you are also the boss. So let me see what else I have to say here before we jump in and take questions. I wrote down a whole ton of stuff. All right. I'm just going to go back for a second. All of us have problems we need to improve. So the point is, when you're considering quitting a job, at least if you're going to quit, ask, what do I want to do differently in the new job? Try to figure out, what am I going to change about myself to get a clean start? Again, I kind of admitted I'm a jackass in some ways. And as a kid, I was a horrible jackass. I used to love to tell people off, and of course they didn't like me for it. Well, when I left high school, where basically I was pretty disliked, and went to college, I made an intentional choice and said, maybe I'll try and be different and nicer. And I got a solid click nicer. Unfortunately, that was probably going from like 2 to 3 on a scale of 10, or maybe 2.5 to 3.5. And I had more room to go, but I made a change. If you're going to move jobs, do at least think about, what can I do better with a clean start and new peers who don't know my history. So I get, the neat thing is, unless you're like an axe murderer, when you go to the new job, you have a clean start. It's a whole new set of unsuspecting fools you get to inflict yourself on. And so it's a clean chance. And so that's your opportunity. So let me take a couple questions, and then I will come back to a little bit more of this. So I won't get completely sucked into questions, but I'm going to take this first one. How do you go on interviews while working full-time without tipping off your current boss? Oh, that one's tough. There's no perfect way, unfortunately, to do it honestly. Unless you are willing to simply tell your boss, yeah, I'm going out to interview. The most common excuse is medical. So I dislike lying. But if you're cornered, what most people say is medical. The other thing they do, though, is they say long weekend. You don't have to say why you're taking a long weekend. It's, hey, I'm taking a long weekend. I'm going to take Monday off. And if they ask where you're going or what you're doing, you can talk about what you're doing Saturday and Sunday, and you're interviewing Monday or you're interviewing Friday. So the way to do it best without lying is to take a long weekend. And nobody necessarily knows. I see chat. I have absolutely said before, it is true that I had a big mouth and I got punched a lot. That was mostly junior high. But I got punched a lot, and in hindsight, I do not blame, unfortunately, the kids who punched me. If it's a short interview, you can do it during lunch. You can do it after work. If it's a phone interview, you should do those outside of hours. If you need a full day to interview or you need to travel, it's got to be the long weekend, or you end up taking vacation. That's honest. Do it during a week off, whatever. Or it becomes doctor's appointment. And doctor's appointment is dishonest, so I don't like that one, but I'm just answering you honestly what people do. Interestingly, your boss probably isn't that focused on tracking your every move. Now, if you do have a boss that does track your every second, your every move, personal reasons, that's suspicious. But I have a personal problem that I need to handle. Your personal problem may be that you're very unhappy with your job. But again, you can be... The simplest advice here is to be truthful but not specific. So if you want to know exactly how you're doing it in all these cases, it's be truthful but not specific. So we have a bunch of other questions with only 1 or 2 votes. You guys go put in more votes or more questions, please. That's how we drive this show. And meanwhile, we had such success with the other audience participation, I'm now going to turn things a little bit. You all answered the question, what was the best or most helpful advice you had gotten? And thank you. And Dome King, I'll answer your question to buy time while people answer this in chat. What is the hardest or most painful piece of feedback you've ever had to hear? Ideally, by the way, that you decided was true or partly true. So what was the most painful, the most difficult to hear, the hardest that you've heard? Dome King, I follow Tim Ferriss and actually try to be on a low information diet. In other words, I believe the news often makes us unhappy. However, I have an iPhone and it has Apple News. And so my first source of news is a customized Apple News feed. My second source of news is essentially email lists I've signed up for over the years for my industry. But I still have a fairly modest source of news, and I basically am never trolling Gizmodo, Reddit. I just don't have time or interest. So those are basically, I don't need a lot of news. Some, like, you don't want to be completely ignorant, but I don't need a ton. And I probably read half an hour of news on my phone a day, which is tons. So, yeah, laser soup, that's common. Once people get to a full interview, it usually is at least 4 hours, and you're not going to fit it in over lunch unless it's a hell of a lunch. All right, Kristen's the first one to answer this hard feedback thing, that I needed to stop bringing focus to where I lack. I'm a very transparent leader and trust that they all know my value. Yes, you don't want to just be always pointing out your flaws. It's fair to be honest and transparent. You don't want people to end up thinking, okay, that's a good list of flaws. Do you have any value? Like that, you don't want to undermine yourself. Doesn't mean be arrogant or full of yourself. But basically, if you have a weakness, acknowledge it, move on. Or acknowledge it, ask for help in how to deal with it briefly, and move on. Don't dwell on it. Other feedback. Dome King, I don't do well under pressure. What do you do, Dome? Like, what's your situation? Hopefully you're not in a high pressure, like, ER doctor. Hardest piece of advice? Marvin, you're full of shit, aren't you? That isn't exactly advice. It is an opinion, though. That's funny. That I was perceived as abrupt and abrasive with my peers. And I think almost every leader gets that, because leaders are often results-oriented and goal-driven, and not everyone is. There's a lot of people who love to talk to hear their own gums smack together. They should be streamers, because there's no one here to interrupt you. You can do it for hours. You can get paid doing it, it turns out. But seriously, I need to answer the question honestly. What is the hardest thing I ever faced? What is the hardest feedback I ever got? Obviously, like, I got the de facto feedback, we don't need you here anymore. But the feedback for me was always some form of not listening, abrasive, opinionated, running over people. I think the most painful feedback I ever got was from a boss I really liked, and she told me early in my career, Ethan, it's obvious that you only want to do the cool work and you try and stick everyone else with what bores you. And that hurt, because I didn't think I was actually doing it until I went and reflected on that, and she was probably right. Like, I was trying to cherry pick the easy work. Ethernight, I wonder if that was your uncle again. Yeah, in sharing with that, because that's good advice. You're not as smart as you think. My dad once gave the painful advice when I was interviewing for grad schools. He said, Ethan, don't talk too much. Sometimes you don't say the best things. That was like having a parent tell you, maybe say less. Like, what is it? Better to say nothing and be thought a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. I think that's what my dad was politely telling me, or impolitely telling me. So the most painful one I got was, you need to stop dwelling on what could have been and make a change to stop stagnation. Oh, I can't agree more. The past is dead. You can learn from it, but you cannot change it. And so move forward. All right. That's my interview strategy. Someone once told me my intentions don't matter if I'm not getting any better. There is some truth to that. In other words, results matter. Intentions are nice. And I'll give you a way to think about this that you can take away. It's very quotable. And then we'll go back to questions because there's a good one at the top of the list. The quotable way is we judge ourselves by our intentions, but others by their actions. And if you think about that, that's true. Anytime we screw up, we have an excuse for ourselves. Oh, I was busy. I was rushed. I was tired. I didn't see that data. I was overworked. We never just say, you know what, I effed it. Meanwhile, when others make a mistake, they were careless, lazy, inattentive, unskilled, stupid. We are judging them by what they did, not by their intentions. We're not, oh, Billy meant well. Yeah. Billy also ran over a stroller full of babies while he was texting, but he meant well. No, we judge them by their actions. Fundamental attribution error. Domkang, he's good. I love it when people rattle off the best summary. Understand that, sure, your intentions do matter but not as much as you want them to. Okay, the fact that you were trying does matter, and we care. Because it's better than, well, the reason I ran over the stroller was because I thought, I wonder if this car will go 100 and who cares who I kill. That would be worse than, I glanced down. It was a disaster, right? Intentions matter. But the stroller still got squished. All right. Questions. How should you announce that you've quit? As briefly as possible. So people occasionally love to write the parting missive in their resignation letter. A correct resignation letter, old school, says date, to whom it may concern, effective date X, I am resigning from company Y, period. Sincerely, name, sign. That's it. Not where you're going, not why you're leaving, not who's an idiot, not what would have kept you to stay. More or less, I just saw Main Squad Asian here with a full mariachi band and a bear on a unicycle. Yeah. Only if you never want to work anywhere else. And Yoyo Chanting, thank you for the book recommendation. Unf Yourself by Gary John Bishop, which is full of this kind of good advice I needed to hear right now. Fantastic. And I'm glad to have you here. You've become a real quick member of our community on our Discord, which is great. The rest of how you should announce you have quit. You tell your boss, you put it in writing, you tell HR, and then you try, if at all possible, to coordinate with them to tell others politely and appropriately. And then you just let other people know you're moving on, that you're headed out, that you're going somewhere else, whatever. You don't need to be specific. You just say, every exit message, I'll say this is something Amazon has nailed. Inside Amazon, every exit message I see from people says, I wanted to let you all know Friday will be my last day with Amazon or with Twitch. I've really enjoyed my time here. I'll miss my peers. If you want to stay in touch with me, here's my personal address and my LinkedIn. I look forward to seeing what you do. That's how you announce you're going. You don't brag. You don't headed to Thailand to rock it on the beaches for a year. You don't complain. You just stick to the facts. So if anybody had follow-up questions on this, feel free to put them in chat, but that's what you do. All right. We'll tackle a couple more questions because you folks have finally got a good set in there and voted on them, which I love. Thank you. And then I'm going to let you advise me. Every job, and I actually really need it, by the way. It's not just a gimmick. I need your help with something. Every job comes with some level of ambiguity. What's a good sign the structure support you need to be able to be successful isn't coming? And at what point is it a good sign to start looking elsewhere? This is a really good question. I love it when people ask me Stumper questions. And Yoyo Chanting, you're right. Eat That Frog, the other book I talk about, that is right. Take action. Super powerful advice. By the way, as an aside, it's the most powerful thing I've implemented in the last year in my own life. The most powerful thing I've done in my own life in the last year is every morning when I'm walking across town from where my train lets out to my office door, I think about what is the most important one or two things I need to get done at work that day, and then when I get in, I do them. And that has made an enormous amount of difference. So do that. That's Yoyo Chanting saying the same thing. Going back to this question, yes, every job needs some sort of resources. If you're not getting them, then the first thing is ask. Ask others around you. You don't just have to ask your boss, by the way. Start with your boss. Boss, I think I need this. Am I understanding that right? Or do I have a misunderstanding? Am I doing something? Could I do something smarter or different? Or can you provide this? Then you ask your peers. So if the boss doesn't have a coherent answer or it doesn't make sense to you, go ask somebody else. Hey, how does this get done here? What should I learn? What am I like? Is there a better way? Is there a way to get the resources? How do you do this? Assuming you have someone who does the similar job. And so a third question is, okay, can I live without this? Can I work around it? Can I, in some way, overcome this problem? And if the answer to that is still no, we'll get the fingers out. You've talked to your boss. You've talked to some peers. You've tried to solve the problem yourself, and it's actually blocking your work. Like, it's not just, this is another thing about quitting a job. People quit jobs because they're annoyed. All right, you're free to like look for the perfect work environment. I was asked today by one of my employees, does Amazon fit me perfectly? No. Amazon has been incredibly good to me, and I'm not going to talk about it further, but I'll simply say, no job is a perfect fit. Like, not that I've found yet, and I don't think you should expect that. Okay, but getting back to all this, at what point is a good sign to start looking elsewhere? If it's blocking your job and you've tried several things to solve it, then it's time to go look for something better and to learn from that. But look at yourself first. All right, that was a good question. I'm going to drink, and we'll go to the next one. It's like a drinking game. Answer a question, take a drink. That's a pretty good game. It makes future questions harder, which I also like. All right, we're going to take 3 questions, and then I'm going to ask you my question. So, how can you help others gain self-awareness to make decisions about whether or not they are a good fit with their current position? So, how can you help others gain self-awareness? It depends on your relationship to them. And chat, you can chime in here. There's other I'm thinking about Think Banhammer's comment. I need to address that. So somebody bring it back up. Because I actually want to talk about leaders and how they should do things when we're done with this question. But it'll scroll off before I get there. So, it depends on what relationship you have and their personality. In other words, really good people are open to feedback and they're looking for it. They are looking for. And by the way, Duke of Thought, most entrepreneurs do not think they have perfect jobs. Just ask them. I think Hephaestus is here. Ligerbox, good to see you. But ask him or others, the other entrepreneurs. They remember reality imposes on what your job is. So In answering this, though, if you have a good relationship with them or they're open to feedback, just tell them. So what I suspect, though, is you're talking about people that can't see their problems and really don't want to hear it. I think at that point you show them. The classic way we do it as managers is we get a 360 assessment. So you don't tell them yourself, or maybe you tell them yourself, but you have all their peers tell them, even if it's in an anonymous format. It's like, so, hey, Albert, here's some feedback from 12 of your peers. Go ahead and have it a read, and we'll talk about it next day. So, Albert, did you see any patterns in any of that feedback? What do you think? Well, Albert, I noticed that 11 of the 12 people said you stink and need to take a bath, and that you make their workplace unpleasant because you apparently don't bathe. By the way, real situation, I have been asked to tell employees they smell, please take a bath, by other employees seated in the same cubicle area. Like, these things happen. You will, and there are no great ways to do this. There are no awesome ways to do it. But you do what you can. The real way, though, is peers, and then build a relationship. The best thing is to build a trusting relationship before you have to give a hard message. In other words, if people believe not that you're their friend, but that you're in their corner, that you're a reasonably supportive person with their best interest at heart, then you have a much better chance when you need to say something. This is why actually I like hiring my friends. It's often considered bad, and I have had to let friends go. But I've been able to look at them and say, you're my friend, and I hope this won't affect our relationship. But because we're friends, I know I can be direct with you, and you expect that from me, and you're failing at this job. And that's where I get my assassin reputation, right? Fire Devin. Devin wouldn't be offended. That's a great thing about him. He would tell me what to do with D's nuts, but that's a separate issue. He wouldn't be offended by the feedback. Kappa mangoes. You need to know this is a spicy mango cocktail. Kappa mangoes. Hard situation. Yeah, look, something so personal as personal hygiene, it's another piece of this, and it'll be my final part of the answer. You try to make it about the behavior, not the person. So this code that you've produced has a lot of bugs. This document contains spelling errors and doesn't meet our standards. I need you to use spell check and be more careful. Or even better, all of our documents should be spell checked before publication. Can you do that? You try to eliminate the words you and your. With personal hygiene, the problem is it's personal. And so that one's really rough. But still, we have standards of cleanliness here or whatever. Unfortunately, right now, you're not meeting them, and you have to use your, and then you're in trouble. So anyway, I hope I've answered this question a lot. We'll go on to the next one. Before we do that, though, the Think Banhammer thing was about Jeff Skin Suits at Amazon. Good leaders, and I think he was probably joking, but good leaders want disagreement. They don't want opposition. But one of my favorite quotes comes from General George S. Patton, who said, he said, if everyone's thinking alike, nobody's thinking. You need different ideas. Like I say it here, maybe not often enough, but why I love having chat and why I love having Discord is you guys correct me or extend my answers. Because even though I have maybe the most experience of anyone in chat, I don't have all the experience. The other quote I use is, none of us is as smart as all of us. And that's from Ken Blanchard, author of The 1 Minute Manager. It's an awesome quote because none of us is as smart as all of us. We need all of us to be smart. That you get the maximum wisdom. When we get briefed before a shift, if someone effed up in a major way the night before, we all get briefed about the general issues and what to do, not this person did this wrong. Yes, that's great. That is how it should be. Compulsory unification of opinion achieves only the unanimity of the graveyard. That sounds like another general and is awesome. A foolish consistency is the hobgoblin of little minds is, I think, Thoreau. So, all right, sweet. One more question, or maybe two more, I guess, and then I need your help. So, what if you can't find a new job before you need to quit your current one? How do you explain the gap to hiring managers? We've covered this in the resume and interviewing section. First, don't spend the gap just sitting on your butt. Do something productive. So you can say, I took some time between jobs and I studied Java. I improved my accounting skills. I worked on my Spanish. I traveled to Botswana because I've always wanted to go to Africa. Don't say, well, I couldn't find a job and I've been searching for 23 months. Like you can't appear desperate because consciously and subconsciously what it does is it indicates that you're flawed. And no manager wants to buy damaged goods. So Ligerbox wants a pity job. Don't worry, Liger, we pity you. All right. So I think I've pretty much answered that. You have to make the gap valuable and talk about if it comes up, you talk about what you did do. So next one. Do you think you should strive for a career doing what you love, or are there other factors to consider, quote, equally, unquote, even though it's not in there? I do think you should strive for a career doing what you love. The question you have to ask yourself is how much do you love money? Because sometimes, unless you're extremely talented or extremely dedicated, the career you love will not pay as much as Wall Street banking if you're able to do that career, or being a corrupt politician. I understand that's very lucrative, particularly if you can take over an entire oil-rich country. But see, I told you the more cocktail I drank, the spicier this was going to get. We're going to get out on the end of the limb and bounce up and down and see if it breaks, because that's more fun. All right. I love this. I love it. You guys are awesome. Taking shots at Bush, there's so many people that could have been about. There's like a list. Come on. It's not even an American necessarily. There are so many dictators over so many oil-rich countries. I get to drink again. This is so much fun. All right. Do you think you should strive for career? So I've steered myself towards what I love. I do this because I love it. I love the chance to help people and to see the people in Discord in our career success stories sharing their new jobs, their promotions, their admissions to grad school, their interviews, whatever. But you do have to make trade-offs. And so a lot of people, including me, when I came out of college, I was focused on growing my career and making money. And I took some jobs. I didn't even know what the hell I would like. So I got into like one job that was with cool people, but was building software for deployment in telcos. And I've talked to people before. I ended up helping build software for Rogers Canada, which is like AT&T in Canada. They're not bad people. They're not a bad company, but it moved like pushing a glacier uphill, I don't know, using a sponge. It was horrible. It's not my kind of thing. And so I got out because I didn't like it. And because I got myself kicked out. But I didn't like it, and I never have taken a job like that again. So are there factors to consider? Sure. When I told the story earlier where I lost my job and I had an adopted 1-year-old and I needed to like make sure she had food in the house, I was ready to take any job. And by the way, I took a job that burned me badly. Like I took potentially the worst job I ever took, because I was in the situation I talked to you guys about of being desperate, right? no income and a kid meant take a job. I took a job, and I ended up with a horrible situation with my manager. It destroyed my marriage. I ended up divorced as a direct result of it. I've shared all that before. You can go hear it in Dr. K or on this some VOD that's on YouTube. So I'm not going to relive it for you right now. But yeah, absolutely try and do something you love. You have to understand there will be trade-offs. And you have to, this is important actually, this will come in our personal finance stream we're going to do on Thursday the 5th at 4 p.m., Devin and I and a special guest with a finance background. You have to put yourself in a position to have choices because as Awesome P says here, opportunity costs, you have to have the ability to pay those opportunity costs. And I had backed myself into a situation where I had 3 or 4 months of money in my 401k plus my credit cards before we were going to be out of a house. And so I had to find a job in 120 days. So Warren Buffett would be a cool guest. We'll work on that. The Sage of Omaha. All right. We're going to do this next question, and then you help me. When does the absence of promotion opportunities become a reason to leave? This is another great question. Why are there an absence of promotion opportunities? Okay, so sometimes it's real. I was often a VP in startups. The only role available above me was CEO, and it was taken. So if I wanted to move up to a bigger scope, a different role, something else, I needed to go elsewhere. That's reality. So then you decide how much do I like the job versus how much do I want to grow? And that goes to that, what do you love? Because having a job, if it pays your bills and you love it and you're feeling fulfilled, maybe keep it. But if you want to be promoted or you need the money from being promoted and you're desperate to grow your career, the question is, why don't you have a promotion opportunity? Is it truly because there's no roles and no need above you? Or is it because you're not asking? Have you ever, I ask this all the time, and the managers in chat always say the same thing. You ask them, has anyone ever asked you about their promotion path? Have they ever come to you and said, what could I do to be more valuable, to merit a better role? And the answer is usually, nope, they've never talked to me. Sometimes they complain, but they've never asked me, where can I do this? This is if you haven't asked, if you haven't tried, if you haven't explored that, quitting won't help. Because in your next place, unless someone magically notices you, it's not going to happen. Second, do you have flaws, things you need to work on, areas of improvement? We use nice words now. They come down to flaws. Areas of improvement. Thank you, Main Squad Asian. I apologize for that. We'll get it fixed. Yeah, this is you and says, you don't ask, you don't get. That is correct. And if you don't improve yourself, when people come to me and this happens and say, Ethan, why didn't you promote me? I say, why didn't you earn promotion? Right? And I had someone working for me about 6 months ago, and I asked her, I said, I think your approach to your career, correct me if I'm wrong, is work really hard, say nothing, hope you get noticed. Is that right? And she said, yeah, that's right. I work really hard, I say nothing, I hope I get noticed. Hope is not a strategy. Hope is not a career strategy. She did work really hard. But you're counting on someone else to notice you. Yeah, Duke of Thought nailed it. The ideal sucker. And I felt bad for her, and I advised her to change because I said, look, this is another one of those quotable moments. You can take it away and clip it and store it away in your heart, okay? And now I forgot it while I was bragging. That's embarrassing. Too much preamble. See, lesson in humility. Good lesson. It'll come back. Store it yourself, Ethan. So true. Clip. That will be funny. Oh, my God. See, the glass is almost empty. That's probably the problem. Maybe we'll switch to the water glass. Powered by Twitch. All right. What was that? So the question was promote yourself. You didn't promote yourself. What are you doing about it? I don't know. It'll come back to me. Too bad. That's funny. Boy. All right. Hope is not a strategy. Thank you. Hope is not a strategy. That is so true. And that was part of what I was saying, is that you have to have some better strategy than hope, for sure. But that wasn't the exact point, and it will come back to me. All right, let's do the question where I need your help. That will give me a moment to collect my thoughts and see if it comes back to me about how hope is not a strategy. Oh, that irritates me so much when I have a blockage. You don't promote yourself. Does it become a reason to leave? It becomes a reason to leave when you've figured out your gaps, addressed them, and there's really no place to go. But look, here's where I need your help, okay? And this is going to be a mental one, Liger, for sure. A mental one. This is where I need your help, okay? I am desperately trying to help a young man who's in high school get his career on track. And he's bullheaded. And all of you are closer to high school than I am. Most of you are much closer, decades closer. Not all of you. He can't hear me because I'm the old guy. And I'm so old, it's okay, boomer, eye roll. Okay, boomer, eye roll. How can I break through? What could I possibly say that he might hear? Or who do I get to talk to him that he might hear? Because he's wrecking his high potential life, and he's going to be here in this chat 5 years from now talking about, I didn't get through college. What do I do now? How do I explain on my resume that I dropped out of college? What? Bribe an influencer he likes. Domkang, now that's smart. No, I'm not a boomer. And by the way, valid answer to this question is there's nothing you can say. Give up and let it happen. What else? Let him get a little older. That's literally a teenage problem. Yes, it is. I hate the damage happening, Yoyo Chanting. I agree. What I was going to say about this, right? Being honest, I was the same way at 18. I'm not as smart as I was at 18. Get Devin Nash to talk to him. Not a bad idea. Devin's closer. What does he want to do? He doesn't know. He wants to be independent. I want to be independent, not have anybody tell me anything. That's what he wants. That's what he says. That's why my high school asked me to come speak. Graduating at 20. Tell him his successful career is POG. You need to propose your goal as a challenge adapted to his generation. Okay, German, give me more details. Duke, you say nothing will help. He needs experience, not advice. Laser, yeah. The School of Hard Knocks is a good teacher, but you don't want to watch it. Think Banhammer. That's exactly it. Jeepicus, thank you for hosting. That's really nice of you. I did the same damage myself. I'm catching up now, and it's okay. Yeah, we know he'll live. Okay, I get it. He'll almost certainly live. Some people only learn the hard way. Sounds like a good question for Dr. K. Ask him what he wants, not what you want. Yeah, fair. Except he doesn't really know. Introduce him to day trading. Nickaroo, thank you. A little bit trolly, but I appreciate it. Be independent does not pay the bills. Yeah, that lesson's coming. College only gets you flipping buggers at Burger King. Yeah, okay. I don't care if he goes to college or not. I went to college. I'm a fan of it, but we just like him to have a plan. Come up with a plan. Other than drift forward slowly, struggling to get C's in high school when you easily could get A's. Did I follow the perfect timeline? No. I agree. That happens a lot. Have faith in him? We try. Like, it's tough to watch bad choices. Yeah, Uber driving, good point. Possibly. Duke of Thought, that's good advice. Wider worldview. You guys, I love how you're doing this. Unfortunately, you can't sign other people up for the military liger in America, or we probably would. All right, see, on this topic, the umbrella goes, we finish the drink. I appreciate all your advice, though. You guys are actually really after it. Let him have a year to explore his passions, a gap year. Yeah. I mean, a shit can make you do more with your life. This is going to be that quote of me. Yeah. That's so sad, that quotable moment thing. Sometimes you got to own your screw-ups, though. Like, that's part of my message today about when to quit your job. Own your screw-ups. And sure enough, I went and bragged and then effed it up like dumbass. So learn. Don't self-aggrandize. Very polysyllabic, and that's exactly what I did. And I got distracted about how smart I was going to be, and then I was dumb. Yay, learn. I will learn. More humility, less bragging. So think Banhammer, we're trying that. Like, I agree. Sounds like he needs a friend in his corner. We definitely are trying that. Incentivize failure. My dad paid me $20 to submit a job app to Starbucks. Barrier to entry wasn't a problem. What we like to do? Yeah, fair. Show him a chart of savings at 20, 30, and 40. Yeah, gamer, that's a good one. And we're going to talk about that in the next Thursday's stream. Devin and I and our guest, we will end up talking about the miracle of compound interest. I like tell him to go to India like Dr. K. That would be funny. Jiu-jitsu classes. Wow, you guys are blowing up with the advice. I should ask personal questions like this more. College can definitely increase your self-growth. Most important. Take him traveling. Done that. Come to Singapore. Oh, take him around the wards. That would be interesting. Get him to travel and expand his perspective. Yeah, we haven't yet had a chance to show him what poverty really looks like. Yeah, remove the crutches, be there for him. Ethan is switching to YouTube from now on. All right, how long do I wait before taking promotion paths as a new grad? Put that in the tool. I'll answer it in a minute. By the way, put in some votes. We're going to go into the speed round after this. Learning what you like and don't like in college is very valuable. I agree. Sometimes feels like a waste of time. Didn't Dr. K have a moment like this with himself? Yeah, that is true. His father sent him to India. That's exactly what happened. Should I live in the van down by the river? I don't know. Is that part of a song or just that, like, what are you doing down by the river? Beat your kids until they get better grades. Deeply considered in this case. Does he pay rent yet? No. Soon. Take it from a rebellious son. The more you push, the more they don't want to. I agree. That's why I'm looking for something better. Your point is, doesn't mean you can't help him realize it. Trying desperately to figure out how to help realize that he's wasting opportunity. It's not, we are not people who are like, you must be a doctor, be a doctor, be a doctor. That's not the point. We're trying to say, stop destroying options by cratering your grades for no reason. By the way, today was report card day. Is that a hint? Like, not even trying. Not even putting in a half-ass effort. All right. Have you tried using the belt? No, not allowed. Hell yeah, compound interest. Oh, I wish I had started investing sooner. Get someone he looks up to talk to him. Trying. Good idea. That's the best suggestion I think I've gotten from chat. Have him shadow working professionals. That'd be good. The beatings will continue until morale approves. They always do. Everyone knows that quote. That's great. You need to figure out something passive and not too aggressive. Build over time. That is what I'm trying to do, Prometheus. Crater and grades. That part sucks. Yep. A lot of kids don't know what jobs are really like. Yeah. All right. Trade him for a new kid. No. What motivates him? We can't figure that out, Costco. It seems like nothing. Like he's actually said, I'm not interested in much of anything. It's bad. Like we're not asking this question cold. All right, Robo Hobo, congratulations on those huge results. If he wanted to be a YouTuber and put his heart into it, great, go for it. Like I'm totally okay with that. Half their income instead of education. Yes, we will do something like that. Laser Soup. Yeah, my grades weren't awesome. They just weren't crap. They weren't incredibly crap in a mediocre public high school where he could run circles around people. Dome Kang. All right, you guys have said a lot of good stuff. I will go back and look at it. I don't want to make you all sit here while I just read and read, although this is the most popular part of the channel so far. So we have the biggest audience for you educating me to be less of a boomer. And even though we need like an OK Gen X. It's too complicated, but anyway. He's had plenty of vacation. I destroyed all my options. I'm 24. I have no idea what to do. I'm so demoralized. It feels like I've never been patient about anything. Yeah, British Columbia, that's it. What you should do is something. I would actually, if that question is at all serious, I would say go in motion in a random direction because motion is better than stasis. If that's truly true, try something. And then if you don't like that, decide what you don't like about it and try something else that's not like that. All right. We'll go back. I'll go back and read all of this. Okay, Zoomer. Yeah, not a Zoomer either. Honorary boomer. That's funny. Okay. So now we'll speed run the questions. Let's do it. Next question. What if the kinds of jobs I'm qualified for are not inspiring enough for me to change? Increase your qualifications. You're in charge of your life. You're probably working no more than 50 hours a week. That leaves 118 hours. Go improve your qualifications until they're inspiring. Take charge of your life. Okay, next question. When is it, like you own your life, do what you need to with it. When is it time to strike out as your own as an independent worker? When you can afford to. Or if you're less conservative than me and you're willing to live on food stamps right now, today. It depends on your risk tolerance. And do you have a plan, or are you incredibly resourceful? Are you able to just gut up and make it happen? Go tomorrow. Are you someone who's timid, conservative? By the way, I err on that side. I am much more planned and conservative, so I'm not dogging you for it. Then make a plan and have some savings. Give yourself a time limit. If I can't make it as an independent in a year, I will go back to scrubbing pots and pans or whatever you were doing. You can usually go back to your old job somehow. But when is it time? It's when you know what you want to do and the best way. You know, sometimes you should never do it. Meaning some people fit incredibly well in a structured environment because as an independent, you have to do everything yourself, including hustle for your next gig. And some people hate that so much they would rather work for the man because working for the man in corporate America means you don't have to figure out where the money comes from. You just have to do the work. So when is it time? Depends on what you want and how gutsy you are and how qualified. If you're gutsy and qualified, today, yesterday, why are you still here? Turn off this stream and go be independent. Go change the world. And I'm not bullshitting. Like if you're ready to go, go. But don't think like independence leads to a lot of fear and angst. And so it depends on who you are. All right. Okay. What do you think about giving 2 weeks notice? Context. My current job has a history of letting people go either right away or after a couple of days after they announce they leave. Some companies do that. You do the right thing, assuming you're in America, which it sounds like, and I don't know the standards in the rest of the world. Giving notice of 2 weeks is the customary and polite thing. So do it. If they choose to say, and some companies will, thank you for your notice, we actually would prefer you leave today, or more colloquially, See the drink showing now. Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. Then go. But you did the right thing. That's usually worth it, right? Do the right thing yourself. Do what you should do for you. And that's a super cool way. All right, next question. I love this. As long as you guys keep questions in the tool and it doesn't get too late, I will keep running them because it's fun to do the speed round. To what extent is commuting a distance a legit reason to quit your job? I read in a book long ago, it was a little book of sayings called Never Confuse a Memo with Reality, which comes from an era where people still wrote memos on paper. But it had a really great point here. It said you can either commute a long way from your house or to your job. It depends. You need to love your job and love your house. If you don't love your house, move closer if you love your job. If you don't love your job, find one closer to your house. If you love both, commute. Example, I got remarried. I married a woman I love very much who's tied to a location. I commute almost 90 minutes each way each day. She takes me to the train. I get on the train. I ride for 35 minutes. The train gets in. I walk across town for 25 minutes, and there's buffer time in all the drives and waiting, 90 minutes each way. I don't love it, right? Legendary Rob Boss says, you're crazy. Well, in the past, I actually lived across the street from my Amazon office. The longest part of my commute was when I got to the corner, was the crosswalk turned on my way or did I have to wait? That was literally the longest single element of my commute. But I have a great house. I have a great supportive wife who supports me streaming and yapping with you. I have a great environment. And on the train, I can work. And when I walk across town, I get exercise. And as I explained earlier in the stream, I plan my day. So I use that time productively. It's part of my work day. If I had to drive it, I couldn't do it. But I use the train and it works. So here's the point. It depends on how much you love your job. If you don't love your job, don't do the commute. Or if you don't love your home. And sometimes I get to work from home. All right, next question. What would you suggest a person having difficulty with trying to earn more? I have a job that's great with promoting, but the money still sucks. Should I just move on? There's a bunch of stuff here. That sounds like you're in, because if you get promoted enough, you should end up making more money. So you must be in like some low income industry, in which case you're going to have to change your skills to something that's rewarded. Or there's a great saying, this one I won't forget, but I won't tell you to clip it, which is the best way to be satisfied is not having more but wanting less. I don't know, like, sure, that's impractical if, like, you're already down on ramen noodles living in a 200 square foot apartment, but there will always be someone with more money, and there will always be people who can spend more. And so you'll never have, do understand that like chasing more money is a never-ending treadmill, because humans adapt really well to standards of living, and we always want more. Bigger house, nicer car, nicer plane, nicer seats on the plane, bigger diamond ring, better college for the kids. Like, there is no limit. Better vacations, second home, third home, yacht, airplane. It doesn't end. So, all right. The more you make, the more you spend. That is true. And I'm not down on ramen noodles. They're pretty good. All right. Next question. How long do I have to wait to discuss promotions as a new grad? I've been in a large Seattle company for 3 months and I'm itching to find a path. I think you can ask the question about what promotion looks like. You can't start agitating for it. But it's totally good to say, hey, I'm new. I'm a new grad. Educate me on what promotion means and looks like here. That's a totally fair. And then you say, oh, that's very interesting. How do I go about accomplishing that? I would love to do that. Here's how I think I should do it. Do I have that right, or what am I missing? Ask questions. Don't be manipulative, but ask honest questions without being demanding. Unfortunately, humans do learn over time, and so some of your development will take time. Being smart, it turns out, is not the number one predictor of success. All right. Couple more questions here, not many, maybe only one more. All right. What about having a need to always always over deliver, which usually puts me in a bad spot instead of simply under delivering? Say I will get this done in 15, but it takes 30 minutes. How do I fix this? What about having a need to always over deliver? Well, that just sounds like I'm not sure whether you mean you always overcommit or people pressure you to do it in unreasonable time. Either way, I think that's a self-discipline, learning to say no. If you need evidence, actually write down the evidence, whether it's your commitment or the boss. Look, you gave me this task, or I took on this task. I said I could do it in 15 minutes. It took me 30. Here's another example. Here's another example. Usually seeing the data will train you out of it. The second thing is look at the underlying emotion. What is emotionally driving this? Like, why are you being driven to that? All right, last question. This is the last question in, then we'll wind up. We'll see if I've missed any. I have to do the question of the week. So this is the last question from the widget. How long is the standard between promotions? There is no standard. It depends on companies. It depends on levels. It depends on seniority. Very simplistically, the earlier you are in career, generally the tighter together levels are. So they're 1 or 2 years, maybe. Later in your career, they can be 5, 8, 10 years. If I wanted to become an SVP at Amazon, a senior vice president rather than a vice president, there's somewhere between 50 and 100 people probably in line ahead of me. So, and there's like 10 positions that turn over 1 per year. So I got to wait for all those other people to die, or I've got to eclipse them. So I'm on like a decade-long path for that, maybe longer. Or I go to another company. So the point I'm making is it depends on your level. And there may be, if you're Elon Musk, the standard time between promotions is the rest of your life. So it's level dependent. But in an entry-level job, it's usually 1 to 3 years. I see somebody else put another question in. Let me check out the question of the week. For those of you who don't know our question, we always do a question of the week to get to know people in chat. And you guys have been awesome today, giving me advice. I do appreciate it. I'm going to go struggle with it some more. This is a case where maybe the best advice is just wait. But anyway, I'm going to take all your advice. Let's see. Question of the week. So normally we do Arthur Aaron's 36 questions. We're on question 25. I'm going to skip it. You can go look it up, but it doesn't work remotely. You have to be 2 people in a room together. So instead, question 26 is, complete the sentence, I wish I had someone with whom I could share blank. So in your life, what is something you wish you had someone you could share that thing with? It could be an activity. It could be a vacation taste. It could be a love of sushi. It could be your troubles, your childhood, your need for a kidney. But what is something you wish you had someone you could share with? And I love how you guys always share this so I can get to know you better. And I will answer the question too. Quit his job and go full-time streaming. Yeah, Robo Hobo, I love what I do, but I love my day job. T Weirdo says smooching. That's good. Good luck with that. I wish I had, that will come true, I'm sure. I wish I had someone I could share my creative writing with. Some guy. Good. Tangible or intangible? I don't know. You pick, German. There is no golfing. Yeah. Pink Dragons wants to share golfing. RTK and Co. My insecurities. I wish someone I could share my love of Twitch with. Laser Soup. There's a whole set of people here, but you must mean someone in real life, maybe? I wish I had someone I could share my snacks with. Interesting. Family stress. And Black Magic, welcome. I don't know if I've seen you here in chat before, so welcome. I appreciate it. And all the same people in chat that I haven't met, I appreciate it. Let's see. Ambition and adventures. That's great. Language learning buddies. Language learning. Good. Yes. Dinner. My inner thoughts. Listen to my life troubles. Are you willing to hear any, Ethernight? Will, he had an interview today. Hey, Ethan, interview went well. Thanks for all the help you provided me and others in this community. Wouldn't be here without it. Will Scarlett had a great interview today. He asked for advice. I hope it truly pans out for him. He seems like a really great guy in the esports world. Sharing creative ideas. VP of Amazon, you can just go back to that, I'm sure. Yeah, that's true. Actually, we call people who leave Amazon and come back, we call them boomerangs. And some people are even double boomerangs or triple boomerangs. So you can leave and come back as long as you do well while you're there. My music and my idea, or my music and movie ideas. That's cool, Minu. The burden I create for myself as an Enneagram 2. I'm supposed to take this test, actually, Kristen. I've never taken it. It's on my to-do list. Love to share your body fat. Got it, Legendary Rob. A lot of people want to do that, right? Go see the movie Fight Club. That's a way for you to share it indirectly. My fears and concerns. Electricity, you should reach out to them. No, you should totally reach out. It's totally fair after that time to follow up and show interest. My imposter syndrome. T Weirdo, reach out. Yes, correct. I got another one. You like to share your apartment. Okay. True life experiences. All right. Dr. K. Love it. All right. One more person added a question. And that question is, I have a relatively decent job, but see better opportunities around me that feel like a stretch for my current skill set. In some past streams, you have recommended that you just do it. Am I being complacent if I don't apply or prepare to apply for them? If you're satisfied and happy with what you're doing, maybe not. I've talked about seasons. You don't have to push all the time. But generally, if you want to grow your career, stretching for the next thing and asking is how we grow. And so we learn more from failure and we learn more from trying hard things than we do for staying in our comfort zone. There's science that basically says staying in our comfort zone doesn't work. And so, yeah, I would say, are you being complacent? Like, that's a judgment. But should you consider it? And if you feel the urge or you want to grow, do it? Yes. If you really love what you're doing, though, and you need a rest period for 6 months or something, don't. But eventually, yeah, you're gonna have to reach out. Otherwise, you're doing what I talked about with the woman earlier, where you're using hope as a strategy that somehow stretches and promotions and stuff will come to you where you are without you doing anything. Yeah, Imbrac says hurry and fail fast. Generally, yeah, Legendary Rob Boss, not enough time for Instagram. Need to get back to it. You've only really failed if you don't get back up. I agree with that. All right, folks, I'm going to call that a wrap. It's been fun. We will be back, Devin and I, and a special finance expert will be back on his or on our channels. We may do a live co-stream on both. Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific time, we will be back next week, not this week. So March 5th. All right. This has been great. Thank you all. I love it. The next Twitch pitch we haven't scheduled. We're working on how to improve it, make it a better show, getting some data from Twitch on how to do that. I love all you guys, though. This has been a great active chat. It's probably had the most engaged people. If you haven't followed, please follow. If you're interested in this all week, join Discord. Catch up on what we've done on YouTube. We just passed 1,000 subs on YouTube. Huge milestone. Nickaroo, thank you. Laser Soup, thank you. I love how everybody gets value out of this. I also love how you're entertained. I still haven't figured out what I forgot earlier, but now I've even forgotten the question, so I'm safe. See, that is an advantage of the OK Boomer. Like, guilt doesn't stay because it's all gone now. I just go refill my glass and I'm good. So, hey, everybody, thank you very much. We're going to roll to the offline, and I'm out. Cheers. Hi, I'm Ethan Evans. I hope you've gotten a lot out of this show. To follow us on YouTube, please click the bell icon in the bottom left and subscribe. Also, you can find us live on Twitch, where we answer questions interactively. Further, we have a Discord community, where not only I, but other members of the community team up to answer your questions interactively. Hope you've enjoyed. Thank you.